I got to see your movie actually this morning, and it was fantastic.
Thank you.
It was great, and we will talk about that. But I'm curious about something. Tom Hanks has described you as a director as being very excitable. That you get when you're describing an action scene and what you want the actors to do,
scenes.
that
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
really wound up. Now, do you think that's fair of Tom to say that, or do you think that's a little unfair? What do you think?
Look, he likes to do these bits, you know, where he kind of does a version of me. Like he was talking about this movie that we just finished shooting, one of the Dan Brown, Robert Langdon mysteries. And in it, there's a drone that's trying to find him. And of course, the drone wasn't really there because you couldn't get the mechanics of that. So, you know, Tom's having to do his angle. And I start trying to talk him through the action. And I go, you know, there's a drone and it's coming. But he describes it like, okay, there's a drone. It's hovering. It's gone. It's back. And
So you feel he's exaggerating?
I think he's exaggerating. In fact, I don't even think that represents me at all. But then I find myself directing him, and I start doing, you know, his version of me directing him. So now it's kind of ingrained. But so anyway, I was kind of complaining about it on this press junket that we're doing because Chris Hemsworth is the star of In the Heart.
And there's a lot of great action in this movie.
And I was complaining about it, and he said, "No, that's true." Because you did it with me. You said, "There's a whale! He's gonna duck! He's got teeth!" All right, so I'm trying to help the actor.
Taylor.
I know.
There's a whale!
I'm trying to support the actor.
Sure, yeah, you're doing your part.
Moment to create this realism.
You know what's interesting is that directors on a big film, like this, for example, where there's so much involved, there's incredible special effects and so many actors and so much going on, directors famously can be short-tempered because they have a lot to worry about. You don't seem like that kind of guy. You seem like a guy who doesn't get angry, or is there anything on the set that does get you angry?
I don't know. I'm not really a yeller, but you know, if people aren't prepared or something, you know, if they're late, if they disrespect the process and a pattern is brewing, you know, I don't yell at them.
What do you do if you're not yelling? How does Ron Howard, as a director, show his displeasure?
Well, they just see that I'm upset. You know, they'll just see a different look. You know, and then that seems to be almost enough.
Can I see? Is it okay if we see the Ron Howard? Wouldn't you like to see what Ron Howard looks like on his rollins? I would. Let's get a nice shot of this. I just want to.
As I recall, you made my daughter Bryce cry on demand, and now you want me to make looks?
Yes.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay,
I'm running a circus here.
And you're willing participant.
You jump through it.
I don't know. There's not too much to it. It's not as good as Bryce's crying, but it's kind of like.
You just look tired. You look tired and like the sun's too bright. That's all.
That's enough.
People
That's
just
enough
think, get that man a sun hat. That's all they're thinking in that moment. Yeah, you did. You know, you mentioned your daughter was here, Bryce, an incredible actress, and she was here, and it was this moment that so many people have talked to me about. She said she could cry on demand, so I asked her to do it. And she did it here on the show. Yeah. We did like a mini scene, and it was really incredible. And I was like, I thought that's fantastic. Did you know that she could do that?
Well, no, not to that degree. But I mean, she's a great actress, and she's very emotional, and she can cry. I mean, I talked to her about it, and she said, "Well, I knew I could do it." She just had that confidence. In her Broadway debut, she had Cheryl and I were there. It was a big moment in the family. There she was. She had a good scene, and she had to cry, and our seats were close enough that near the end of the first act, she's crying, and I'm looking, and it's real tears here on Broadway. Wow, that's really something. And I look over at Cheryl, and Cheryl's kind of like this. And I thought, why isn't she emotionally involved in this?
Yeah.
I am. So at intermission, I said, wasn't that amazing? You didn't seem that knocked out by that. I was just blown away. And she said, are you kidding me? She pulled that every day of her life when she was 17.